Commerce Minister is promising to change the rules with the stroke of a pen if he finds insurance companies discriminating against those who have genetic conditions. A law that's just passed gives him the power to act quickly, but those living with genetic conditions say they already are being charged higher premiums and the government needs to ban them outright, like they're doing in Australia. Here's senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch again.
Mary Bradley's family's had too many brushes with bowel cancer.
My dad was diagnosed with bowel cancer. His father had bowel cancer. And when I was 28, I was diagnosed with bowel cancer.
It was too much of a pattern to ignore, so the family did some testing and found they had Lynch syndrome.
It was a bit of a shock. It was actually a real shock.
Lynch syndrome is a genetic condition that increases the risk of many types of cancer, but particularly colorectal cancers. There's a 50-50 chance of it being passed on to each of Mary's 3 sons. One son's tested negative. Her son Joshua is next up.
When it comes to getting tested, I feel a bit nervous, but I feel it's something that I need to do and something that should be done.
To add to the anxiety of potentially facing a diagnosis, the money question, health and life insurance.
One of the main questions they'll ask you in an insurance, health insurance or life insurance is, are there any genetic conditions in your family? And obviously you have to say, and then what happens is those premiums really go up.
Canada and the UK have variations of a ban on insurance companies using genetic test results to discriminate. In September, Australia announced it too would introduce a ban. The rationale is that people may be deterred from getting a test and catching a condition early because of a perceived risk of increased insurance premiums, and that it's discriminatory toward those with genetic conditions.
My brother, although he doesn't have Lynch syndrome, he's done the test that shows he doesn't have it. His premiums were really high and he had to go to another insurance provider.
An insurance bill that's just passed through our parliament doesn't quite go as far as a ban, but the minister gave himself power to act if he sees fit.
We can look at what's happening around the world and literally by the stroke of a pen, we can put in regulations to deal with it straight away.
It's really great news, but it's not far enough. Really want to see a ban like they've got in the UK, like they've got in Australia. In Canada. Like, come on, we can do better than this.
The government didn't opt for an all-out ban because it doesn't believe premiums were being raised in New Zealand.
If I start to see any signs of that, I will deal with it.
I would dispute what the government's saying. We see, I've seen in my own family that we are getting higher premiums.
If they're aware that insurance companies are starting to do it, they literally need to get in contact with me because I will be onto it as soon as a flash, and I've got the mechanism now to be able to do that quickly.
I promise to act if shown the proof.